First, at noon, President Trump says he'll make a decision on whether or not to join Israel's attacks on Iran in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the European Union is holding talks on the conflict in Geneva today, hoping to come to a diplomatic solution. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
President Trump departed the White House Friday, hours after taking part in a national security meeting about Iran.
I think within a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months, they're going to be able to have a nuclear weapon. We can't let that happen.
It comes a day after the president left a door open to a diplomatic resolution to the intensifying conflict between Israel and Iran, saying he'll decide within 2 weeks whether the U.S. will attack Iran's nuclear facilities.
We've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens.
In a possible step towards diplomacy, Iran's foreign minister met with European leaders Friday in Switzerland, the first face-to-face talks since the fighting began.
Israeli attacks on nuclear facilities are grave war crimes.
The U.S. was not part of today's talks in Europe, but the U.K.'s foreign secretary said European representatives made it clear Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. He urged Iran to continue negotiations with the United States.
It is hugely important that we don't see regional escalation of this conflict.
Touring an area struck by an Iranian missile near Tel Aviv, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war with Iran will last as long as it takes to achieve his country's goals.
Iran is the preeminent terrorist regime in the world. It must not, it cannot have nuclear weapons. That is the purpose of Israel's action.
Following Friday's talks in Geneva, Iran's foreign minister said his country supports the continuation of discussions. Earlier, he said Tehran would not negotiate unless Israel's aggression stops. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Meanwhile, Hawaii Congresswoman Jill Tukura says despite what the president decides, war powers only exist with Congress.
And Congress cannot abdicate that role to a president, ultimately, who has a very, as we know, a bipolar approach to foreign affairs and diplomacy at the end of the day. Keeping our kids safe, our men and women in uniform safe, means that we have to have a steady hand. We have to let negotiations continue. We want diplomacy to be the ultimate answer here.
NBC News is reporting that the president is relying on a small group of advisors, one that does not include Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth taking a smaller role. California's governor has suffered a setback in his effort to prevent President Trump from controlling National Guard troops deployed to Los Angeles. The ruling came down hours after ICE agents tried to gain access to Dodger Stadium and were refused entry. Danya Backus has the latest from L.A.
ICE agents were seen in the Los Angeles Dodger Stadium parking lot outside the ballpark hours before the team was set to announce a program aimed at helping immigrant families following sweeping ICE raids.
ICE out of LA!
That prompted a small protest outside the stadium.
I just saw guys behind a door, maybe putting on some tactical gear.
It's time everybody step up and say that what's happening is not right.
In a social media back and forth, the Dodgers said ICE agents requested permission to enter the stadium's parking lots, but they were denied. ICE responding, "False. We were never there." The Department of Homeland Security weighed in, saying this had nothing to do with the Dodgers and that Customs and Border Patrol vehicles were on site, unrelated to any operation or enforcement. Many in the region are on edge as immigration raids continue. This one in the parking lot of a Home Depot Thursday resulted in dozens of people rounded up and taken away.
They say that people are getting deported. We're going to be the ones that are committing crimes and all that. They just snatching everybody up. Anybody, father, mother, cousin, whatever,
Thursday evening, a federal appeals court ruled in favor of President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops here in California. The case is likely headed to the Supreme Court. Governor Gavin Newsom says he's not giving up, saying the president is not king and is not above the law. Meanwhile, Trump is hinting he may deploy the military all over the country as he continues to prioritize deportations from Democratic-run cities. Later today, Vice President J.D. Vance is set to visit an ICE facility in L.A. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
On the Big Island, a 22-year-old Ocean View woman is facing multiple charges, including attempted murder, after allegedly hitting her boyfriend with a vehicle. Police say Elena Kainoa Aukai was involved in a domestic dispute before the crash Tuesday night in Hawaiian Ocean View Estates. The 24-year-old man was taken to the hospital in serious condition. Officers say Kainoa Aukai showed signs of impairment and became combative during her arrest. She's due in court today. Honolulu police are asking for help finding a man with a gun who threatened a 27-year-old woman on the H1 freeway. It happened near the airport off-ramp at around 4:45 yesterday afternoon. The man allegedly threw items at the woman's car, taunted her, and pointed a handgun at her. HPD has opened a terroristic threatening case and is asking anyone with information or dash cam video to contact Crime Stoppers at 955-8300. London Opendak pleaded not guilty to attempted murder charges yesterday. He faces 3 counts for allegedly attacking his parents with a hammer in Waikiki on June 8th and trying to bite off his mother's nose. His parents were seriously injured in the incident. His trial is set for August 18th. The 29-year-old is being held without bail. And more than 2 years after Mitchell Miyashiro allegedly crashed into a teenager and left her to die, his trial has been delayed again. He's charged with negligent homicide for the 2023 death of 16-year-old McKinley High School student Sarah Yara on Kapi'olani Boulevard. A judge yesterday gave Miyashiro's public defender more time to request medical records and investigate potential witnesses. Sarah's family is still grieving and is trying to be patient.
You know, we would want him to know what he took away from us. He took away something that was so precious to us, and we miss her every day. But with him prolonging what he has done, it doesn't bring justice to Sarah.
Miyashiro's trial is set for September 8th. He remains locked up at OCCC in lieu of $250,000 bail. Well, let's take a live look at Kilauea, where you can see all that fog coming out of the vent. Episode 26 of the eruption ended just before 10:30 this morning after coming to life overnight. Check this out. This is what it looked like earlier. Now, the episode of the eruption started at around 1:40 a.m. with fountain heights reaching over 1,000 feet. USGS says lava flows from this episode will continue to move slowly and glow as they cool and solidify over the coming days.
And of course, because of all of the fog coming out of Kilauea, we're watching the air quality very closely. Let's take a look at our current air quality across the state. This is according to the Hawaii State Department of Health. Right now, even though we had the eruption, we're all in the green across the entirety of the state. But I do want to show you our exclusive fog forecast. Again, you're only going to find this on air here at Hawaii News. Now, we're expecting some hazy conditions going forward. Here's what we're expecting going throughout the rest of this evening. We've got lighter winds out there throughout today, a little bit of Saturday, and maybe even some southeasterly winds over the eastern half of the state, blowing all of the fog and haze up towards Maui County, Oahu, and Kauai. This is around Saturday morning at 10 a.m. It might be a little bit hazy out there, but luckily trade winds are expected to get stronger during the back half of this week, blowing all of that fog off towards the west and southwest. I'll give you a closer look at what you can expect for the weekend coming up.
Thank you, Drew. A North Shore man who was crushed in a car accident remains hospitalized and faces a lengthy recovery. As Dylan Ancheta reports, Dakota Briley's family says they are uplifted by their faith in God and prayers from around the world.
The crash happened here along busy Kamehameha Highway on Saturday in broad daylight. Police say around 1:30 in the afternoon, an 18-year-old driver veered off the road and hit the victim, who was standing here in the shoulder. Family members say Dakota Briley, who is just 20 years old, was waxing a surfboard, preparing to host a surfing lesson when tragedy struck. The 18-year-old driver took out a traffic sign and hit Briley, who was trapped between vehicles. He suffered extensive injuries and was rushed to the hospital in critical condition.
God is currently already working miracles in Dakota.
Family and friends have camped out at the hospital as he's been in a medically induced coma.
I think the biggest thing is just keep praying for him. He needs healing from the top of his head to the bottom of his toes, but especially any folks who know can put prayers out specifically for his spinal cord and his brain. Those could use a lot of prayer.
He's the most mentally strong and physically strong person I know. And if there's anyone that could get through this, I know it's my little brother. And I have full faith in him and in God that he's going to get through this 100%.
Now, Dakota remains in the ICU here at the Queens Medical Center, and his loved ones say slowly but surely he is showing signs of improvement. On Thursday, tests indicated his body was responsive to touch and movement. He already underwent spinal surgery and is receiving round-the-clock care. Loved ones say they've seen and felt the aloha from people all over the world and are relying on faith to get them through this.
This is one of his biggest sayings, that he's a soldier of God. He always says that. He is a soldier of God and he lives it.
His best friend Kainoa last saw him roughly 30 minutes before the incident.
The last words Dakota spoke to me, that he said that we need to dive back into the Word and start giving our lives to God and living our lives for God.
As for the young driver involved, the Briley family says they are praying for him also. Police have not made any arrests and added that speed, drugs, and alcohol don't appear to be factors. A GoFundMe account set up for medical costs have already raised about $205,000. Dylan Ancheta, Hawaii News Now.
Ahead on This Is Now, the July 4th holiday travel rush is just around the corner. What you need to know if you're planning on flying. Plus, a growing push to allow fishing in Hawaii's protected northwestern Hawaiian Islands. Mahealani Richardson has the details in 2 minutes. A council that sets Pacific fishing practices will ask President Trump to allow commercial fishing in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. Environmental groups are calling any move to lift the fishing ban disastrous. Mahealani Richardson has more.
The Western Pacific Fishery Management Council, which sets fishing policies, will ask President Trump to allow commercial fishing in the Papahānaumokuākea Marine National Monument in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. It's the largest marine protected area in the world.
That ask is to open waters of Papahānaumokuākea to commercial fishing. We may also include recreational fishing and subsistence fishing.
Kitty Simons, Westpac Executive Director, was in the Oval Office when President Trump signed the executive order in April to allow commercial fishing in a different preserve, the Pacific Island Heritage Marine National Monument around Johnston Atoll in the Central Pacific.
It was very exciting for us. These are United States waters, and U.S. fishermen should fish in U.S. waters if it's sustainable, if we're protecting all of the vulnerable species.
Earth Justice, which is suing the Trump administration for lifting the fishing ban in the Pacific Monument, said opening Papahanaumokuakea to commercial fishing would be disastrous for the environment, and that putting a kapu on fishing in key areas promotes greater overall abundance.
The Hawaii Longline Association didn't want to comment on the politics of the industry, but says the Pacific fish stocks are healthy and they follow all government regulations.
The association says longliners only fish in the deep ocean and stay away from sensitive nearshore areas as required.
The 0 to 50 miles is completely off limits, it's closed, right? So our vessels, about 20 vessels went and fished there over the last month. And they're fishing well beyond the more vulnerable coral reef area.
Captain in training Ulana Kalahiki says her boat, Katie Mary, has not fished in the monument yet, but found a fresh catch elsewhere.
This past trip we came back with a little over 30,000 pounds, and I got to go in the auction to check it out, and just hearing the buyers thank me for bringing in such a good load, it's so humbling.
The majority of them are just on the high seas right now, following the migration patterns of the tunas. So it's to me, it doesn't really seem like there was more or less coming in based on the opening.
Experts say despite changing national policies, there hasn't been an influx of seafood and no dramatic price differences for your sashimi either.
Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
AAA says 72 million Americans are planning to get away this July 4th holiday, hitting record highs for drivers and flyers. Chris Van Cleve takes a look at the travel forecast.
For the Brannon family, the summer is time to travel, and they have several trips booked.
I'm the planner, and I plan way out. I think I'm getting a good price. I hope I am. But I'm getting to where I want to stay, too.
The Independence holiday travel stretch is expected to be the summer's busiest. AAA says the number of flyers will tick up more than 1% over last year's record rush.
The top 10 heaviest travel days in TSA history have all happened within the past year, and we expect to see more heavy volumes this summer.
At Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, customs officials say wait times are down 25% thanks to new enhanced passenger processing technology that uses facial recognition. It's now in use at 9 airports. And soon at DFW, Customs will be testing a program allowing it to review the X-ray images of checked bags coming in from London, so connecting passengers won't have to clear security a second time.
This program streamlines and improves the travel experience for our customers, saving them time and reducing the complexity of re-clearing security, all while continuing to maintain the highest security standards.
AAA expects most will drive over the 4th of July, a record of nearly 62 million, up 1.3 million from last year.
We're seeing travel in record numbers because you have to remember that travel isn't just an economic and practical decision. It's also an emotional decision. And what we're seeing is that people don't have to spend a lot of money when they go on these trips, but people want to get away and not be home.
Priceline says among the top summer destinations, Las Vegas, Orlando, Tokyo, and London. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
Can't believe we're almost to July already. Well, stick around. Your first alert forecast is coming up after the break. We'll take a look at what we're expecting throughout the weekend and give you another look at our first alert VOG forecast.
First Alert weather with Drew Davis.
All right, well, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday. You made it to the weekend. We've got typical trades out there today, a little bit weaker over the eastern half of the state. These trade winds are also going to get windy by the time we get to Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon as well. A few showers out there, mostly located over Windward and Melka locations. Typical summer-like pattern out here. Here's our First Alert fog forecast. The reason I'm showing you this again is it's expected to get relatively foggy out there going into the next couple of days, especially after episode 26 of the eruption. Here's our fog forecast going forward. This is later tonight. You'll notice slightly southeasterly winds pushing the fog over towards Maui County, reaching Oahu by early Saturday morning, all the way over towards the Garden Isle. So we'll be seeing some lowered air quality out there. So if you're sensitive to lowered air quality and sensitive to fog, you might want to stay indoors if you can, and maybe run the AC if you have that available to you. This is Saturday and Sunday afternoon, starting to see the trade winds get a little bit stronger out there, and that's what we're talking about. It should clear the fog up by the time we start out the next work week. Our First Alert windcast going forward, this is this afternoon between 10 to 15 miles per hour. So a little bit weaker out there. Like I mentioned, slightly southeasterly over near Hawaii Island. As we're going into Saturday and Sunday, this is Sunday at midnight. You'll notice 12 a.m. We're seeing breezy conditions out there around 10 to 15 miles per hour, relatively strong for what we're expecting in the overnight. Our island by island forecast for Saturday over on Kauai, we've got spotty showers, mostly sunny conditions. Moving down towards Oahu, mostly sunny, 88 in town, 87 in Kapolei. Again, we are going to be seeing some fog moving across the state. Maui County, sunny and breezy out there. Again, wind gusts are going to get stronger as we're going into the next couple of afternoons. 89 for a high temperature in Kahului tomorrow. So relatively toasty out there. 88 in Kihei, 85 in Kona, 88 in Waikoloa. Widespread fog along the Kona coast of Hawaii Island. Some fog over near Hilo as well. 84 degrees, scattered showers and mostly sunny conditions. Spotty showers on the northern parts of the Big Island. And again, we're going to start to see those wind speeds pick up. Our surf and shoreline forecast, still some box jellies out there on Oahu south and west facing shores. This is for this afternoon. South facing shores around 2 to 4 feet. East facing shores still rough and choppy. Relatively small on north and west facing shores. Our First Alert futurecast, really don't see much of a change going forward. A few overnight showers possible, drying out throughout each afternoon. Really minimal rainfall coming down going forward over the next couple of days. Our First Alert radar and satellite, not seeing much out there, maybe a few sprinkles. And again, here's our First Alert 7-day forecast. Really nice weather expected going forward. However, we are going to be pretty windy on Saturday and Sunday. Easterlies between 15 to 25 miles per hour. A lot of sunshine. And of course, we're tracking the fog this weekend.
Thank you, Drew. Still to come, the Hawaiian Humane Society is looking for photogenic pets. Casey Lund explains when we come back.
All right, time for some good news now. The Hawaiian Humane Society is giving pets a chance to shine.
Yeah, their 2026 Pets in Paradise calendar contest has officially begun. As Casey Lund tells us, it's all for a great cause.
Aloha from the Hawaiian Humane Society's Sasa campus out here on the west side. I'm with Brandy, my dear friend, and we are talking about Pets in Paradise. But first, Brandy, tell us who we have here in the cat house.
So this energetic baby, who's a squirmy wormy, is Starfruit. And this sweetheart, who is the cutest tortoiseshell kitten that you've ever seen, she's got that majestic fur. This is Mary Kate. It's clearly kitten season. We've got lots of cats and kittens looking for loving homes.
Yes, absolutely, and always looking for foster parents as well, too. So I want to talk about a couple things, namely, though, the reason we came out here, because you only have a little bit more than a week to get your submissions in for Pets in Paradise. Tell me about the calendar contest as I button up here, because Starfruit is it's going all over the place.
She's extra excited.
Yeah.
So our Pets in Paradise calendar contest is our annual fundraiser that helps to celebrate pets and here in Hawaii and their owners who love them. So if you've got high resolution photos, we're asking you to submit them and you can be featured in our calendar for 2026. You can also sponsor a day if you want to celebrate your dog or cat's birthday, maybe your tortoise's gotcha day.
Yeah, that's the thing, not just cats and dogs.
That's right.
What are some of the submissions, the crazy submissions you've already seen?
Oh, I love it. We have 2 goats that are on our leaderboard right now. We have a skinny pig, a hairless guinea pig, who I love. We have a couple of guinea pigs, actually. We've got birds, dogs, cats. Any type of legal pet here in Hawaii can be featured.
I love it. And then one last thing before we go, talk to me about the pet walk. I know it's a ways off, but you want to kind of get that in people's minds already, yeah?
That's right. So our 35th annual Pet Walk is Oahu's largest outdoor pet-friendly event, and our pre-registration period is closing on June 30th as well. So if you want to take advantage of $25 registration, get your registration in now. It goes up to $30 on July 1st, all the way through to the event. But it's a really fun event that's coming up Saturday, October 25th.
Very good. Starfruit was like, I'm out of here. We want to thank you so much for all that you do, everybody here at the Hawaiian Humane Society. If you missed any of those details, by the way, you want to get your submission in, again, you have till June 30th. Go to hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
That was great.
We've been laughing throughout the entirety.
Sure, but
and the cat trying to get away the entire
cat's
time.
like, I know this is a dog human. This guy likes dogs. That was so good. Well, thank you for watching it. This is now, we're going to leave you with this live look outside.
And
Happy Aloha Friday.
Happy Aloha Friday, everybody. Have a good weekend.